Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. This is another pick a card for us, and this is regarding the week of October 20th through the 26th. And these messages are going to tell you what to expect for the week. So if you have never done a pick a card before, what I normally do is I think of the numbers 1 through 4 and I close my eyes, and whatever number floats into my mind is the one that I select. But everyone thinks differently and our intuition operates in a different way. So if you're more visual, you can look at the stones or the numbers or the colors of the numbers, and whatever is, jumping out at you. As long as it's the initial reaction, make sure it's whatever jumps out first or whatever comes to mind first. That is your intuition. And I will timestamp the video so you can jump ahead to your message, and I will see you there. So I hope you all have a great week. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hello, Pile 1. If you chose number 1 or this stone, these are going to be your messages for the week of October 20th through October 26th. So the way that I do this reading is the overall energy of your week is the 8 of Cups. How you will be feeling is the 6 of Cups. And the potential energy here to lean into for the best week is the King of Wands. And Pile 1, I absolutely love this reading for you. The 8 of Cups is all about releasing something, walking away from something that no longer serves you. And it's a call for the greater good. You're being called to something that is more fulfilling. You've turned your back on something and you have decided that you're venturing out into finding something else or replacing something with something that's more fulfilling. So it's a beautiful week. The way you're going to feel about it, 6 of Cups, one of my favorite cards. Now this could mean a couple of things. You're either going to have like this childlike renewal energy. You're going to remember kind of how you were before you were entangled in whatever this was that made you feel unfulfilled. Or you are going to be feeling a little bit nostalgic. Either way, when you see the 6 of Cups, it's not a sad feeling. It's a lovely feeling. And then the energy that you need to lean into, King of Wands, does it get any better? It's such a go-getter, intelligent, bright, energetic, go-getter card. So lean into that. I just heard supernatural. You guys might be feeling really capable this week, maybe, to pursue your dreams. And you're going to be very strong. You've got the Strength card here, Harmony. I feel like you've got this sense that you really deserve better, regardless of what circumstance this was. It very well could have been a romantic situation that you felt rejected within, or that you have rejected someone within. And you could be this week kind of understanding the cycles. Like you may be looking at it like understanding that there's some kind of pattern emerging that you've realized, and you're learning it now, like how to avoid getting yourself into circumstances like that, or kind of why those circumstances happen, or why you're choosing the people that end up this, in this rejection stage. It doesn't matter if you're doing the rejecting or if they are. It's just something that's not aligned with your higher self and your calling. But you are going to be dealing with it very well. I feel like this is something from the past that may pique your interest or your mind, and you are forgiving the situation, moving on with this beautiful strength and this lovely King of Wands energy, and you're seeking this harmony. You also have the 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so there is a potential for very great connections this week after you've walked away and released whatever this is. And you've even got the Miracles card. That is so lovely. There's like magic in the air for you this week, Pile 1. You just need to tap in to the proper energies, and just step ahead into your power. Basically, you're leaving something behind. You're in this beautiful King of Wands energy. There is it's like a self-calling. You're going to be bold, magnetic, soul-led. You're not just healing, but you're leading. So this week is inviting you to claim your vision. You've got all these, you've probably got brilliant ideas. You could even be an entrepreneur or want to be, or you're really successful. The one thing I will say, I do see this, you're very powerful. Like I said, you've got strength, harmony, and power. And right under that is creation. You're going to be feeling creative. Like just the King of Wands is very creative. You may even be having really creative dreams, or there could be messages in your dreams this week. Just watch your temper. Sometimes when I see this, the lightning can be fast and furious and unexpected. So just make sure you do keep a handle on that. I don't see any issues with that necessarily, but it's just a side message for you. Other than that, I think it's a beautiful week, Pile One. I love the energy of the King of Wands. I hope you revel in it. Like I said, you are leaving something behind, but the leaving it behind is actually really beautiful for your soul. It's what you need to do in order to, you've outgrown something. It's either emotional or something else. It doesn't have to be a relationship, but you're choosing truth over comfort. And you know that there's something better for you. So you are moving forward into that. And this is just very lovely energy. And like I said, the way you'll be feeling is Six of Cups, which is, it could be nostalgic, and it could be nostalgic in ways that like remind you of who you really are or what used to bring you joy. And if you are thinking of a previous romantic partner, you may romanticize that a bit, but I do feel with this energy, you will absolutely know what your greater good, what the calling for the greater good is. So it's not like you're going to be pining for someone. And if you find yourself, romanticizing something, just remember you've got this powerful King of Wands energy here for the taking. And you just need to step into your power and realize that whatever that was not actually suited for you. It was leaving you unfulfilled. And you've got this strength and the harmony that you need this week, along with this Two of Cups to bring you in some really beautiful energy. You may even meet someone this week. It's possible if you've let this go. It's definitely possible. Just remember that you need to reflect on what was causing the cycles of choosing the thing that's leaving you feeling unfulfilled. So I feel like you've got miracles coming, and this is a very positive, lovely week, Pile One. Thanks for being here. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello, Pile Two. If you chose number 2 or this stone, these are your messages for the week of October 20th. So the overall energy of the week is the Knight of Pentacles. How you will be feeling is the Three of Pentacles. And the energy that you should lean into for the best results is the Four of Wands. So a lovely week. I feel like you guys are really focused on a goal or a success or something that you really want to achieve. When I was shuffling, I did see the World card, but it fell out with like a bunch of other cards, and so I didn't take it. And what came out after that was the Three of Pentacles. So I feel like you're really working on something. You are diligently working on something. The Knight of Pentacles is like the slow and steady wins the race card. Sometimes I feel like you want things to happen a lot faster. Make sure that you don't let impatience self-sabotage you. Like if you take an assessment of your life this week and where you're headed, or if you're measuring your successes and you feel like you're not exactly where you want to be, just make sure that you keep control of that inner child that wants you to self-sabotage or sell out because it's not happening in the time frame that you want it to. Because the energy that Spirit really wants you to be in is this celebratory energy. So it's like you're manifesting your success by already envisioning it. That's what I see for you. You guys are very level-headed. You're really good at what you do. So your overall week, you're basically going to, you begin the week feeling very grounded, steady, intentional, and, it's not a flashy energy, but it's very committed. So you're really committed to whatever that your success is, wherever you want that success, you're really focused on it. You're really good at what you do. This is the knight that is, he's, like I said, slow and steady wins the race, but you can depend on him. He's very dependable. And then how you will be feeling, I do feel like you would enjoy collaboration. Emotionally, you'll feel nourished when your gifts are seen and shared. So, like sharing your gifts with the world in general. Um, and like I said, I do feel like if you have opportunities to collaborate, you'll feel really good about that. And this could be, it could be collaboration even with, I mean, if you want to get spiritual with it, even with your spirit guides, if you're saying to me, gosh, I don't collaborate, I don't talk to anyone about my successes, it could be that simple. But I do feel like you're really trying to improve your craft, whatever your craft may be. It's not necessarily a craft per se, but wherever you're seeking success, you're really trying to refine it and make it so that it's going to be the best, whatever it is. And you may have, a trusted person that you work with sometimes, or you have other people on your teams, or someone that just gets you that you like to collaborate with or bounce ideas off of. But just keep in mind that when you start feeling impatient, focus more on that celebratory energy, that joy, the things that make you really happy, and also the feeling of how you will feel once you've reached those successes, whatever part of your life that they are within. And if you do feel like the self-sabotage come on, just take a deep breath and think of all the things you've already accomplished. I feel like this pile, you've already got it together. And when you need to take a break, just take a little bit of solitude and reflect on that. Guilt came up and renewal. So never feel guilty about taking a break and just kind of revitalizing yourself. In this pile, don't work too hard. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. If you do have guilt from past things come up, this is something that, Spirit wants you to know. When you're leaning into this refreshed energy, when we think of things from our past, we need to kind of look at our past, like turning our wounds into wisdom or learning from our mistakes. We can't dwell on things that didn't go as planned prior, or we can't dwell on things that have resulted in something, that we didn't necessarily want in our lives, because everything happens for a reason. And when we do that, it just leads to a self-sabotaging mindset. If we think about the things that have happened and we realize how much we've grown from them, or we turn those wounds into wisdom and understand that there's a lesson behind everything we go through, it just completely changes our perspective. We go from this more gray, like winter zone, into this refreshed, spring zone of thinking. It's all about our mindsets and kind of thinking. And this week, lean into that happier, celebratory mindset. So when we see that Four of Wands, it's all about, it's basically, with the Four of Wands, it is celebratory in nature, and just kind of looking at the positive things that you currently have in your life. So this week it's about building with intention, feeling supported, honoring your journey. You're basically laying foundations, and not just for practical success, but also for your emotional and spiritual fulfillment. So that is what I see for your week. I hope that was helpful. I also want to mention, I did see the Four of Pentacles that was here, and then the Eight of Cups. So you could be holding on tightly to something, and that's like basically, when Four of Pentacles come up, it is very stable, but also it's just kind of like a reminder not to hold too tightly on things. And with the Eight of Cups, this person is leaving something behind that wasn't as fulfilling for them. So if you feel like there is something that you've already walked away from, make sure you're not letting it kind of block your heart space or block yourself from new successes. Okay, so don't dwell on things that have hurt you in the past. Make sure that you realize that you have already learned from those, you're perfecting your skills, and you are moving forward into this, this Knight of Pentacles energy here. And your Knight of Pentacles is going to carry you into your successes. So I hope that was helpful, Pile 2, and I hope you have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hello, pile 3. If you chose number 3 or this stone, these are your messages for the week of October 20th through the 26th. So your overall energy of the week is the Two of Pentacles. How you will be feeling this week is the Ace of Swords, and the energy to lean into for the best results is the Two of Swords. So you are going to be busy this week. I feel like you're either going to be really busy or you are going to be trying to make a choice or a decision, perhaps even juggling some things this week, weighing the pros and cons. I love the Ace of Swords, and this is all about feeling mentally clear. You know the answers quickly, you understand exactly what you need to do. This is the sword of truth. So there's going to be a truth that you definitely feel in your heart this week. It's basically flashes of clarity and truth that you're going to be feeling throughout this week. The energies to lean into. It's interesting because you go from how you'll feel as the Ace of Swords to the energies to lean into as the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords, as you see, he's also weighing a decision. There could be something that you're, trying to make a choice on. His eyes are closed, and the water in the background represents emotions. There could be some discernment that you need to kind of lean into, or you really need to go within and protect your heart. When you feel like you don't want to speak about something, or if you feel like something's emotionally too heavy, it's okay to withdraw. Even if you know the truth and you feel at this time that you don't necessarily want to engage or something along those lines. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you absolutely know the truth of something. You may have to make a choice or decision, and you have to stay present in your responsibilities this week. Something's activated. There's been something that has just kind of quickly activated, or you've learned this truth and now you want to really speak your truth. You could have, maybe the truth is regarding some past cycles or something in your life that you're realizing now was some kind of like a karmic cycle or something. Help from above is here. Just know that you are very spiritually supported, and you do have say what you mean along with that Two of Swords. So I feel like when you will know how to behave this week because you know the truth. You have complete clarity. So when you feel that Two of Swords energy, it's just basically saying don't act on insight immediately. Let clarity settle sometimes. Like don't I think it's basically telling you, like, don't act too quickly. You know what I'm saying? Because with those emotions in the background, you kind of want to check in with yourself. Excuse me, I have a cold. But also when I cough, I do feel like something needs to be said. Yes, it does, because you also have say what you mean. So there is some emotional processing that you may have to do this week with this new clarity that you're feeling, because you're basically, it's like clarity, breakthrough, and then sovereignty. Basically, you've got this energetic balance, your boundaries that you're trying to create with this Two of Swords here. Yeah, you may feel kind of like setting your boundaries, making clean decisions, and like releasing what is no longer aligned with you. You also have go outside. So sometimes if you need to kind of clear your mind after you have this mental clarity, prayer is also here for you. So when you feel like you aren't 100% sure of how to emotionally navigate the truths that you've unearthed this week, make sure you know that Spirit is there to help you, and to, basically help you kind of take a pause before you make your decisions. So you've got the Two of Pentacles. So this week may feel like a juggling act. You're maintaining your tasks, your emotions, your spiritual, side as well, the practical side, spiritual side. So the energy is asking you to basically kind of stay adaptable, but also grounded. And if you feel like you're being pulled in too many directions, this is kind of you learning how to navigate that, especially because you have the flashes of insight and truth. Your fog lifts this week, and you begin to understand what's real within yourself, your relationships, your path. There's clarity that may feel very exhilarating and liberating, and you're emotionally attuned to what's honest in your life. And then you've got that Two of Swords that's asking you, like, for the best results, you're being asked to kind of pause before acting because you're going to have all this mental clarity. So the Ace of Swords brings the truth, but the Two of Swords is saying, are you ready to integrate this? This card is like encouraging you to sit with your insights and protect your energy. Listen deeply before you make decisions. It's the wisdom of the stillness and, the knowing that clarity deepens in silence. So you may need to take some pauses before you jump forward into your activation. I feel like I want to take one more card for you. The truths that you that are revealed to you could feel almost like a wake-up call in a sense, because I do feel like sometimes when we get that Ace of Swords, it's like, oh my goodness, and then you have the breach here underneath that. It's like, imagine being submerged in the dark, deep ocean, and then how the animal feels jumping out, how this whale feels jumping out from that water into the air and just wants to, like, like it's a huge breath. But the Two of Swords is kind of asking you to take a pause a bit, because once you realize truths and things, there may be some vulnerabilities involved and those kinds of things, which is totally fine. But that's why that Two of Swords is there to kind of say, you know what, sometimes it's good to take a little pause and not know for 100% certainty, what action to take next, even though you know the truth. You just sit with it for a minute to understand, like, listen to your higher self a bit more. So, pile 3, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to get an advice card for you. I didn't do that for the other piles, but I feel called to. What is Spirit's advice for pile 3 for this week? Spirit's advice for pile 3. I love the Ace of Swords for you, pile 3. I really love that card. I do get like aha moments and really deep clarity when I see that card. And this says, stay strong in your faith. A positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset. So stay very positive this week. You are going to have all that clarity, mental clarity, and that's so helpful to your life in general. And it also says healthy communication in relationships, heart-to-heart discussions, and clear, assertive communication help you understand and be understood. Yes, you're going to have an opportunity to say what you mean this week. And I think that's why you kind of have to take pause and reflect on what you really want to say. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Hello, pile 4. If you chose number 4 or this stone, these are your messages for the week of October 20th through the 26th. So pile 4, the weirdest thing happened when I was pulling your cards. I went, well, first let me tell you what each card is here of the tarot cards, and then I'll tell you what happened. So the overall energy for this week for you guys is the Two of Wands. The way that you will be feeling is the energy of the Seven of Wands. And you've got the energy of the Page of Wands to lean into for the best results of the week. So let me just tell you a little bit. Well, first of all, I feel like this week is going to fly by really fast for you guys. Actually, I'll take that back. It may really fly fast, or it's going to feel like it takes forever. There's going to be a divided group, I feel, for this group. And I have to explain to you why I'm saying that. This fire energy, it's very fiery, very fast moving. You did get the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and that is all about swift movement, lots of communication. I feel like all of you will get a lot of communication. I do feel like something's really beginning, or something is jumping into the forefront of your life right now. But I want to tell you something. So I pulled this card and it came out just like normal. This card took forever to come out. Like, I'm talking maybe patience is really required in something for you guys this week, because I kept shuffling and shuffling, and I was getting ready to like, I was like, okay, so it was nothing, like, what's happening? And I went to like set the deck down, and then it popped out and went on the floor. So I was like, that was interesting. There's something about that. Either maybe something's going to take a lot longer than you wanted it to. In some instances, I feel like a lot of aspects of your life are going to be moving fast and smooth, and then, you know, some things maybe will require patience, or something's going to take longer than you want it to. Something along those lines, because that was very strange, the way that that happened. And I was just about getting ready to like set the deck down, because I was like, what is happening? I was going to like reset the energy, you know, and then it popped out. So that's interesting. Your overall energy, it's the Two of Wands. I love that. As your overall energy, it's basically, you know, you're going to be envisioning things for yourself. He's got the world in his hands. He's looking out. It looks like he's on a building here, just looking out into the horizon with the world in his palm. So I feel like there's going to be some planning, perhaps, maybe some decision making. You know, when you are basically, the way that he's standing, it reminds me of like the threshold of possibility, or you are just, you know, there's something that you're thinking about for your future, perhaps. You're thinking of some strategies, definitely like bold dreaming, those kinds of things. I feel like, you know, vision, choice, expansion, all those things could be coming up this week. And with the Seven of Wands as your emotional, in, you know, how you will be feeling, the emotional tone of the week, you're probably going to be feeling really protective of whatever plans you want to make, or protective of your energy and your space and your progress. This can also be about like setting, you know, drawing a line in the sand for others, kind of almost like setting boundaries in order to protect what you're working on. If you look at him, he's got two different shoes on, meaning he like jumped up quickly. So there could be something where you're like called to action, and you're taking a stand on whatever it is that is coming up this week. So it's like you may feel like you're understanding more about what drains you or what distracts you, and you're going to try your best to like hold that off. You want to really protect what's yours, protect these other wands here. There's a fire in your belly. You might be feeling emotionally charged when defending your choices, or, you know, defending your pathway, whatever you have decided on, or whatever you're trying to, whatever this decision making or whatever this planning is about. But also, it could be, like I said, you could feel like you need to kind of push back, or like you need to protect your boundaries, in a sense of like your ideas, your thoughts, your passions. You need to kind of make sure that you're allowing space for those in your life. And then with the Page of Wands as the energy that will be most helpful to you, I love the Page of Wands energy. It's so fun, and it's just so passionate, and I feel like, you know, leaning into your passions and what sets your heart on fire and what really gets you excited. He's also very, just very energetic, very fun, very childlike energy, feeling good about what you're wearing, you know, just he's got a pep in his step. So basically, it's like learn what excites you, and then also, you know, giving yourself some freedom to play and let your creative energies kind of curse through your bones, if you will, your veins. I don't know why I said bones. I wanted to say veins, and I almost said both. So both, I guess. But celebration is here. You guys are really going to be excited about something. That is for certain. You've got activation. Like I said, I do feel like things are going to be happening quickly for some of you. And then, you know, there's something that's being activated and you want it to come to fruition quickly. You got the Cycles card. I almost feel like every pile got this, or if not, almost 3 or something like that got this. Or almost all, but 3 maybe got it. Anyway, you also have alchemy, which is wonderful. This is the manifestation card. You're able to transmute energy. You know, power is at your fingertips. You can turn anything into what you want it to be. You're an alchemist this week. You're able to get the outcomes that you want. You may be fiercely defending, like I said, your passions, but you really have the strength and power to create what you want and even celebrate it, because you're going to be so happy about it. This could have to do with your life path, or just something that you've been really dreaming about, like a quest that you've had in your mind that you want to start, or decisions or planning in regards to that. And you've got all these great ideas coming up, which is really nice. And this acceptance card is here, and this is all about accepting who you are, literally just being so at peace with who you are and what you're here for, and changing your perspective. If you feel like something's missing from your life, or that you aren't enough, change your perspective, because you absolutely are. The fable in this story is Cherry is a waitress at a diner, and she cuts a slice of cherry pie for someone, and then she looks at it and she says, maybe I am, maybe there's a slice missing, from her life, is what she was saying. And the other waitress said, or maybe you're just a heart-shaped cherry pie. And from there on, she felt whole enough to just make the changes that she deserved in her life. She realized that her romantic partner was not the right one for her. She wasn't happy in certain areas of her life, and she realized she's good enough to get exactly what she wants, and that's exactly what she did. And it reminds me a little bit of the Seven of Wands energy, because she sprung into action. She, drew lines in the sand, set boundaries for the energies she didn't want in her life. She started planning exactly what she wanted, went after her passions, and that was all activated. So there's something about your passions and your planning that's going to be activated this week, so much so that you're going to feel like you want to celebrate. Maybe you'll even have some successes this week, something that you were able to transmute, and the energies that you were able to create into something spectacular. I do want to get Spirit's advice for pile 4. What is Spirit's advice for pile 4? I just feel drawn to give you an advice card this week as well. What is Spirit's advice for pile 4? Thank you. Unnecessary worries. Release the burden of worries by giving them to God for healing and solutions. Yeah, absolutely. If you do have any doubts or anything creep in, make sure that you are giving them to God. If you've run into a circumstance that's taking too long, just have patience, rely, have faith that things are turning out. Make sure you keep a positive mindset, because that alchemy is all about the power of our minds. But all in all, I think it is going to be a good week for you guys. Have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.